Mafia, are you ready?
He said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Welcome everybody to Brotherly Love Wrestling, and on today's show, no guests.
We have nobody.
Just us two.
So that's it. We're done.
Yeah, that was the show. That was it. No, that wasn't the show. But, I mean, we felt like we kind of almost had to talk about everything that has gone on. We haven't really sat and talked wrestling current events in a couple weeks now.
I mean, yeah, we had some guests and whatnot and another show to tend to, but I think now is as good a time as ever to do a just us talking wrestling show.
Yeah.
And basically what we're going to do, I have a feeling, is fanboy out over AEW. Now, before I came over, I had shaved my Coy Detmer neck beard, but since we are talking fanboying AEW, I should have kept it. It would have been fitting.
You're right, but...
And wore a stained fucking Bullet Club shirt. We would have been good to go.
You would have.
Yeah.
You would have fit right in. Anyway, though, I got to say, and we said this 2 weeks ago when we came on, when we were talking to the main event, that a breath of fresh air was breathed into wrestling when Punk came back that Friday night. Friday and Saturday was Ring of Honor, which was amazing, at least here in Philly. You had SummerSlam coming after that. You had NXT. There was so much in the last 2 weeks that I think, but no more than what just happened Sunday night at All Out. It absolutely to the next level. Something I thought I may see, but never really believed it was actually going to happen.
Especially at such a rapid pace.
Yes. Yeah. Not all in the same night
like
the way it
bang,
did. Yes.
bang, bang. You got Punk, and then, what, a week and a half later?
Mm-hmm.
You get how many more surprises?
You get Ruby.
You get Ruby.
Yeah, well, look, yes, you got Ruby, but you got the announcement with Moxley before the other two.
With Suzuki.
With Suzuki coming in, and that being, as we record this on Tuesday night, tomorrow night, live on Dynamite, you're getting that match for free. Then later in the night, you get Adam Cole coming out. Looks like he's going to beat down the Bullet Club, or the Elite, or former Bullet Club, and then joins forces, turns heel, although he's always heel, but still. And then Daniel Bryan comes out, helps Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus and Christian kind of clear the ring, and stands tall to end that pay-per-view. But I mean, all the rumors that we've been talking about leading up, if he goes here, we were on Lotus podcast and we were talking to them and talking about CM Punk and what it would do. There's so much to soak in and think about when it comes to what professional wrestling looks like right now.
I think they're out. They're not out to. Well, they probably are. They're not out to beat WWE per se. They're out to prove that professional wrestling and not entertainment, entertainment. Yeah, sports entertainment. Whatever the hell you fucking call it. Is still as big, if not bigger, than sports entertainment right now.
I agree.
I mean,
it is.
Look at the. It's basically like we just picked up from some weird time in like 2013.
Yeah.
And we're like back there when wrestling was it was like more wrestling heavy over the entertainment heavy, which it wasn't at its most popular, but still.
As a pure wrestling fan, it was a great time to be watching wrestling. Not as far as options go, but as far as the wrestling itself.
And now we're at this time where one company has some very entertaining wrestlers, and one other company has some very good wrestlers.
Yes.
Who are just there.
Good way to put it, yes.
They're there to do Wrestle A and entertain big. Like, they're going to entertain you through the wrestling. They're not going to. There's not going to be too much of goofiness. It's more serious driven now, with like shades of comedy.
Yeah. Well, so I watched today. I had a little bit of free time, and I watched
Must be nice.
all three press conferences, scrums after All Out of Ruby, of Daniel or Brian. That's gonna really have to change in my head, and Adam Cole. The one thing it made me, I don't want to say angry because it wasn't angry. It was more frustrated that WWE has gotten to the place that it is. Because I look at what they said and how they said it and their body language when they were talking to the press and answering all these questions.
AEW press,
but they were simple questions. How did you feel? How did it feel in the journey here? Blah, blah, blah. It wasn't like they were glorifying AEW because the three people did that enough. A smile never left any one of the three's faces. They couldn't talk more glowingly about Tony Khan, more glowingly about that locker room, the feeling that they got when they got in there. It frustrates me as a lifelong WWE fan. And look, I've said this a couple times on the show talking about WCW and WWE. I'd never even turned WCW on because I didn't want to help the ratings when I was a kid watching that. It was that big of how I wanted to support WWE. So when AEW came out, as much as I loved all those people wrestling, in my head I'm going, I want WWE to win because I'm a WWE lifer. It's what made me a fan.
Speaking of which, beside the point, my retro Sting shirt has shipped.
Nice. Still in the AEW umbrella.
I'm the WCW fan, so
yes.
I was the one that couldn't care less about WWF.
Of course.
When WCW was on TV, even when they pay, that's what I look forward to. Well, in part of my father. That's
of course.
Pretty much what I had a choice to look forward to. It wasn't even really because we only had one TV.
Yeah.
So Dad was watching. You watched with.
You watched it. That's
but
right.
You got into it and you liked it. So you're like, I don't really care about what else is happening because I'm only watching this.
Yes. Hence why neither one of us went down to ECW Arena when we had all the options to.
Nah, we didn't have the. Not the options because we were what, 13, 14.
Anywhere from 10.
I
to 14.
wasn't gonna be able to get there by myself.
Yeah.
I could have, but it probably wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, but that was also one of those things, like we said, that it looked like it was this dream place. It looked like this was something that only existed on TV. You couldn't even fathom it was right in your city. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, I don't understand how we got here with WWE. And I love the wrestling that AEW does. I think their entertainment is gotten better. I think, all in all, it's a great product to watch. There are some people I still don't get, I still don't like, but that doesn't stop me because I still like the company.
There's people on WWE that I don't get and I don't like.
Exactly. And
they've been around longer.
Way longer.
Like, I don't get how a couple people are just like, I don't get this.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. I just don't understand.
Like how Jinder Mahal still has a job.
I knew that was one. Like I knew that was what you were going to say.
Like, I don't even get why people was that thing that oh yeah, we're going to like him because people don't like him? Was that like my thing that I do?
Thing, yes, it could be.
Except I was doing it for really good, legitimate people, not Jinder Mahal, who legitimately throws a kick and a fucking, what is it, a full Nelson slam.
There is a select Jinder Mahal fan group of WWE fans that love Jinder Mahal.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't see it.
He's just not talented.
I think he's good in the ring.
No.
I don't think. No. First of all, I don't think he's
in the ring.
In the ring, I don't think he's bad.
He does 3 things.
Cena did 5.
Yeah, but Cena was also a lot more magnetic.
I get that, but that's what I'm saying. You don't have to be
anti-magnet.
He just doesn't have any character whatsoever. He's
like the crust of glue.
The crust of glue
that comes over the top when you pull out the glue. He's like the crust of glue. It doesn't stick to anything. It's not useful anymore.
It's just there.
It's just there.
Yeah. I
just
get it.
leftover.
I get it.
I'm sure
I
everyone
agree
did.
with you. You don't have to convince me. I don't like Jinder Mahal. I'm not one of those people. But where do you think this is going to change? Do you think they give a shit what AEW does?
I was thinking about this. I don't know if it's going to change on their end. I don't know. I don't. I think Vince is so stuck in his ways that I think he thinks of it as they do two separate, completely different and separate things. Like, they're not in the same business. Like, I think he looks at it like that. Like, they're not in the same business. Like, he's got this business model.
Has he become Ted Turner? Maybe to a lesser degree.
No, but I'll tie all this because I was thinking about this today, and being a WCW fan, I was like, because I was thinking about, like, what the hell's so different? Like, you see the names like the Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hogan, Luger, Macho Man, and then you see Punk, Bryan, you see Adam Cole, you see Rusev, guys like that that come over. It's like almost like the same thing. I mean, to a different magnitude. I don't think anyone's as big as Hogan, although CM Punk would probably be, or Daniel Bryan would be that equivalent right now. And Miro would probably be like the Hall and Nash.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So I was trying to think about that, and I was like, well, what's so different about this? Like, what's so different about them doing this way, and finding it and not being the same as WWE or WCW, and eventually folding? I think the difference is that WCW was money driven. Turner was money driven. He was buying these people.
Yes.
He was overpaying for talent.
Because he was running a TV show.
He was picking. He was just picking talent left to right. I'm going to pay you more. I'm going to pay you more. And I don't think that's the case with AEW. I think they're just leaving just because of the environment.
Yes.
I mean, everyone back in the day was money driven, and you just lived the life, probably with a lot of drugs and alcohol involved. Nowadays, mental health is such a big part of culture that people don't want to have a job where you're just like completely run down all the time, and you have to worry about this and this and this, and I don't even get to make my own decisions for what I'm doing. You're just told what to do, and you don't know how to do it right, and you're always under scrutiny. Like with AEW, like, people want that change. I mean, we've talked to the people that have been in that locker room. They're like, well, it's like I'm hanging out with my friends. I mean, it's a business, don't get me wrong, but you can see that there are times in AEW where they'll fuck up, and it happens with the infancy of a company and whatnot, because there's still times that fucking WWE fucks up, and they're not in their infant stage anymore. If anything, what are they? They're almost watching Matlock at 4 at this point.
Yes.
And eating a TV dinner.
Yeah.
Hungry Man meatloaf.
But I agree. That's the thing, is that you have that mental health.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it changes. I don't know, because I don't know if that WWE would have to completely redo everything from the inside.
Well, it starts at the top.
Well, they'd have to redo everything, their whole motto.
Yeah.
Like, Vince is running a business. Those are his employees. He's not really being friends with them. Like, he doesn't have another Undertaker where Undertaker will do, like, he doesn't trust anyone anymore. Like, he doesn't trust anyone. He trusted Taker. And that's about it.
Trust Roman.
He trusts Hunter. Hunter, Taker. Yeah, he probably trusts Roman to a certain extent.
I mean, Roman has gone on record and said these past couple, at least month or so, he's just been doing his own promos, period.
That's fine.
So
I mean, that's okay. I mean, he's been doing good at it.
That's the trust that you need to have in your big stars, though. That shouldn't be the anomaly. That should be the rule. That should be it. When you have guys like KO and Sami Zayn and Cesaro, I mean, Cesaro's not great on the mic, but he sink or swim at this point. You got to be able to go. McIntyre, Sheamus.
How many guys and girls do they lose, though? I think that's what the other side of that is. Like, if it's sink or swim and no one swims, then we're kind of in a predicament here where we can't. Now, this is like live TV. Like, some people can't be sink or swam when you don't have faith in them, and they might not be ready to swim.
Well, then you're thinning out the herd.
He's already thinned out the herd. He's thinned out a lot of herd, and there's still
but
one
ones
big
that
name.
shouldn't have gone, though.
Yeah, there's
That's
still one big name that hasn't even shown up yet. That will probably show up.
I think
and this is probably going to be
more than one big name.
You think?
I still think Braun Strowman is a giant name in professional wrestling if he goes somewhere.
See, I don't know if he gets over with that crowd. I don't think so. They'd have to completely rebuild him. He'd have to be rebuilt into a completely different entity of a wrestler. He's already lost a lot of his luster. I think the only big name that's left is Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I agree with
The
that.
only person who will have come in and the fans will I don't think Braun Strowman comes in and he gets a pop.
I think so.
I don't think
not all right. So now, don't get me wrong. It won't be a Daniel Bryan or Bryan.
It won't be as big as
Punk.
it won't be as big as Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt's going to have a crazy ass fucking entrance.
Yeah.
If he's given he might commit a murder. Not really, but that might be what it looks like. He might kill Darby. And I was thinking about this on the way over too. You know how we've had this conversation numerous times about there will never be another big star.
Yes. Yeah.
Or we couldn't see it.
Yeah.
I think I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be as mainstream as Big a Star, but I think if they're able to keep the eyes up and keep the viewership up and keep growing and growing in viewership, I think AEW can create the next big star, because I think they have the right people. Like, you got to look at a Punk, Bryan Danielson, and all the people that have big names that could help put over. Like, they have bigger names to put over the talent. Like, you've already seen everybody in WWE, and the people that they're bringing up through NXT aren't going to fall into the next big thing category unless they somehow score someone huge that came out of like a sport or entertainment or something.
Like this kid Parker Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Like him.
No, not Parker Bordeaux. I'm talking about the guy that just won the gold medal.
Yeah. I forget his name, but yes, that they just signed.
I'm pretty sure he just signed a contract.
But look, Parker, he's a monster. He looks almost exactly like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. I think he's a foot shorter.
Really?
I think he's shorter. He's not that much taller than Eva Marie. At least Eva Marie's like 6'2".
Okay.
So I don't think he's that. Yeah, but here's the thing though. Who is he? Like, where did he come from? He's not a mainstream star.
No, he's from football.
Yeah, but he's not from
No, he's from college football. He came out of college, but that's what they want now. That's the new NXT. They want former athletes. They want actors, models, Olympians. That's who they're looking at. They are no longer looking at indie wrestlers, and that was said by.
Well, that's fine, but you have
Nick Khan.
If you're going to do it that way, then you have to find someone like the guy that won the gold medal. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a good start because he was seen globally.
Yeah.
Although no one was there in person, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But like, if they're going to go that route, they could create a new star, and it could be like, I mean, look. They're those. It's the thing though. Who are you trying to appease? It's not going to be the wrestling fan, because they don't care about the big guy anymore that can fucking throw you around the ring.
No.
If they don't have a personality, they don't. If they can't get over with them, then they're screwed. I mean, the 40 and over crowd.
Like, how long is that? Is that demo going to?
But
benefit?
Eventually, we're going to be the 40 and over crowd, and we're not going to really care about that.
No, and that's the problem.
So how long I know it's cyclical, but how long can you withstand that this generation that's coming up right now isn't really looking for that quote unquote Brock Lesnar like athlete. Mm-hmm. They're looking for someone who's a professional wrestler, I feel.
Except for the young kids. Except for the kids 8
you have
to 17.
Yeah, you have a large group in between, though, that could care less about that type of wrestler.
But because WWE doesn't... You don't walk into Toys R Us and see an entire aisle dedicated to WWE anymore.
No,
and
man,
they hate that. WWE hates that, which is why they're doing what they're doing and catering to younger so they can produce more, sell more. But my thought is, I get it. Going with the kids young, making them a fan when they're young is all well and good. But most wrestling fans, and even me and you are in this group, you fall off. You fall off at that 15, 16, 17 point. Until something like an AEW is cool enough to be like, you have a couple friends that used to be fans. Yo,
That's what happened with me.
Let's go to this on a Friday night for Rampage. Like, you know what I mean? That's something to where now it's the cool thing to do, and you're not this kid watching WWE anymore. Like, it's literally going to be that's going to be
I
it.
only came back for like Manias, like WrestleManias and
Yeah.
Royal Rumbles was like the only thing that I watched.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who like a lot of the people were. And then I had like it wasn't until I think it had to have been CM Punk and Daniel Bryan era. I think CM Punk brought me back to watching it.
Mhm.
And then Daniel Bryan, and there was maybe a select few, but at least I was watching it again. But I fell off for, I want to say, the better part of the Ruthless Aggression.
I'm the same way. Same exact time frame. I think I came back a little before that, though. I was back before CM Punk and before...
You were probably back in the leg end of the Ruthless Aggression era.
Probably.
When Michaels was
Yeah.
going on the retirement tour.
Yeah. Actually, that's kind of where I fell off. That's not true, because when Austin went, I watched all of Austin and Rock. But I think when, like, the Invasion and, like, Austin was basically phased out and he was towards the
general
end
manager?
of the... Yeah, like, towards the end of the Austin, that's where I started falling off. And then basically watched through a little, would go back because kept hearing about Shawn Michaels and what he was doing. But other than that, I wasn't watching weekly at all.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Wrestling fans go through that all the time. Some people never come back.
Some people never stop.
Yeah, exactly. But
I think I think what you said first was probably more realistic, though, is that people probably fall off at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's in a weird spot right now, but it's in a great spot.
yes.
Like,
Yeah.
it's almost like you feel weird because growing up, you're like, all right, it's WWF. What do you think of professional wrestling? You think of WWF and then WWE. And now you're like, all right, well, WWE's just not doing it for me. You're just like, it really isn't. It's really not doing a damn thing for me.
SmackDown's the best show they have.
And even that, I don't miss it when I miss it. Like, I don't really care too much.
For me, it's the only one where I go, I have to see what happened on SmackDown. Like, look, last night, Raw, we were over your place. Neither one of us saw it. Neither one of us cared to really...
I didn't even check in to see what happened.
Me either.
At that point, because I just don't. I know it was 3 hours of nothing. Like, I legitimately know it was 3 hours of nothing. I don't even have to watch it. I don't even know what happened, but I guarantee you it was 3 hours of nothing. NXT, I mean, I'm kind of iffy with NXT right now because I don't really love anything that's going on there either. I feel like there's maybe a few people that I want to watch, and even they're starting to change. And they're not changing in a direction.
You took away Cole, you took away Lee, you took away Cross, you took away, I mean, not that he was that big of a player, but Bobby Fish is still Bobby Fish. You took away so many people from NXT. You took away Shotzi, you took away Tegan Knox, they went up. Like, Gargano and The Way, yeah, it has been a great story, but that's starting to wane. You have the $1 Million Man with Grimes and LA Knight.
That's going to get old.
That it already has run its course. There are so many different storylines going on that are just the tag team, or not tag team thing, I'm sorry, the thing they just held with the Breakout.
Oh, yeah.
The Breakout tournament, where it had Joey Gacy in it and stuff like that. Was entertaining, but it was only entertaining because there were a couple people that I wanted to see because we've seen them in the indies, like Joey Gacy. But it's still, the finals, I thought I'd be like, oh, I can't wait. And I didn't even watch it.
I think I watched it.
But
It wasn't bad.
it's just NXT has stopped drawing me because I look what they did with Cross on Monday night. And I'm like, what the hell is this?
You mean
it's garbage.
The sex slave?
Yeah, like what the fuck? Like what? I don't get it. I don't get where their mind is from NXT to main roster. I don't see it. I don't. It's just that's WWE to me, and that also is what spurred this thought. Was I saw the promo that Paul Heyman cut on Vince McMahon during the Invasion type thing where WCW, ECW were all split up, and how he made wrestling a dirty word. You made wrestling a dirty word. It's sports entertainment. It's not wrestling anymore. I feel like WWE is a dirty word in the wrestling business now. And I feel like Vince has done that to the WWE. Because you think of WWE, you think of budget cuts. You think of mailing Mickey James gear in a fucking trash bag. You look at everything they are doing, everything's negative.
Goldberg.
Bringing back Goldberg, and don't get me wrong, I love John Cena, but bringing back John Cena, bringing back these guys that don't need to be back. And you say about not trusting talent. That's another perfect example. You can't trust these guys that you have already to sell out Vegas because you're not letting them go on the mic. You're not letting them be legitimately then turned up to 100. You're not doing anything you did in the late 90s, early 2000s when you were the most successful you've ever been. Let's just go the complete opposite way and script everything.
Well, I think investors probably have a lot to do with that.
Yes, they do. Being a publicly traded company, a lot to do with that.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's kind of pigeonholed with what he can do. He's kind of just, I don't know, if doing what they can, because I think they could do a lot better.
Investors would be happy if you
don't
had 3 million people watching. Regardless of if it was PG or TV-14, if you're putting money in your investor's pocket, they don't give a shit what's on USA Network on Monday night. That's what boggles my mind. Because I rather have...
What's going to be the thing that you're going to hear about to be like, oh, shit, and it's going to bring you back to watching? Like, what is it going to be?
It would have been CM Punk.
Oh, yeah, well,
But
that ship sailed.
You know
now
what
he's
I mean?
on the
That's
now
the
he's
only
on the
thing.
other fucking channel. So what's the thing that can bring that you could hear? Say you're not watching WWE, and what's the one thing or a thing that you could be like, oh shit, that happened? Well, now I got to check it out. Like what? There's nothing going on right now.
It would something would I would have to get something on my phone that said Kevin Owens wins Universal Championship. Sami Zayn wins WWE. Like it, the indie guys. Or I don't even want. No, I'm not calling them indie guys anymore.
They've been in the company for long enough.
These guys that have busted their ass and can do it, that are being held back with. Look, I like Baron Corbin, but Baron Corbin and Kevin Owens should be in the title picture. Maybe he shouldn't win it off of Roman.
He should have beat Roman at the.
Eventually, you're right.
He should have he should have beat them in the last man standing.
Yes. That should have been his time. You could have given it back to Roman. You can flip-flop a title as much as you want. It's your title.
You could always go back to Roman, but you got to give other people a shot. I mean, Roman's doing his best work that he's ever done right now, but him losing, I don't think will hurt that. As long as he doesn't leave the title picture completely, but don't run the same fucking match 4-5 separate times. Like, that's another thing that just... You don't miss anything. Like, how many times did they run Lashley versus McIntyre?
And apparently, I didn't see it, but I listened on Busted Open. They said that McIntyre versus Sheamus they wrestled last night. How many times have we seen? And don't get me wrong, that's a great match, physical match.
Yeah, but
that
should have ended after the what was that? Anything Goes match?
Yeah,
because that match they weren't doing any better than that.
No. But that's what I'm saying. It's constant repeat. Now, apparently last night they did Tag Team Turmoil to see who will face RK Bro. And I heard they featured it. Almost the entire show was Tag Team Wrestling. Which is funny because one of the greatest...
Who the hell are the tag teams?
One of the greatest tag team matches just happened on Sunday. And then the next night, all of a sudden, WWE, who never features... their tag team division.
Who the hell's even in the division?
It was AJ and Omos. It was Viking Raiders. It was New Day. It was Retribution.
Mason.
T-Bar. Lucha House Party. I'm missing a team.
Oh my god! Are you really?
I can't. Jinder Mahal's
sidekicks.
Yeah, was the other team.
Oh.
I might be missing one too.
They ran that for an hour?
I don't know how long it ran. Again, I didn't see it. I just know it was scheduled.
God, that's awful.
Last night.
That doesn't bring me to want to watch.
I heard it. The New Day ran the gauntlet. They came out in NWO inspired gear from Bash at the Beach.
Like that.
But that's the New Day. That's what. It's not like we don't like the New Day, but exactly. But yeah,
no, I love the New Day, but now I almost wish that the New Day would leave.
It's funny you say that, and saying about Kevin Owens today. Kevin Owens tweeted longitude and latitude numbers on his Twitter account, and they led to Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore being the former faction at PWG between the Bucks, Kevin Owens, and Adam Cole. And his contract is up in 2023. Because in 2018 he signed a 5-year deal.
2023?
Yes.
That's a long fucking time.
It's one more year.
Yeah, what part of 2023?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what fucking.
It's not
month
even
he signed it.
2022.
It's not. But yeah, but I mean, look. Can you imagine what the
That's at
wrestling
least
landscape is going to look like by that point?
No, because I think as contracts come up, and I mean, if the indies can still stay hot, and if companies are going to shell out the money to book these people, like, why not test the waters a little bit in the indies, and then, like, what unless you're that scared that you will never go anywhere else besides WWE, then keep that contract and keep going there and keep working there, because you don't think you could do anything else. Because there's some people that are in the WWE system that I don't think could do anything else other than, I think Strowman's one of them.
I did see something of a rumor of him putting out a tease about wanting to make an impact and then put hashtag Titan on it. So people were saying that that's gonna be his new name, and he's going to impact as Titan, which is very, very loosely based, obviously.
Loosely based and very generic.
Yes, but it wouldn't surprise me from Impact. Not that I don't like Impact, but he would fit in there.
They need eyes.
He would fit in there. Yes,
he would destroy
and he would be
everybody.
a little bit of draw. Exactly.
Yeah, that would help Impact. Like,
yes.
Impact could get those people that, like, if Corbin ever left, like, Baron Corbin can fit in Impact.
Yeah.
I don't see him fitting in an AEW system.
Not Corbin, no.
There's a few WWE people that I don't think... There's a bunch that I think aren't going to re-up because their friends are now all in AEW. And I think that they will have...
elite.
And I think... I mean, look, if Sami Zayn... His contract...
I would be gone. If I was Sami Zayn, I would...
Because he comes back as El Generico, and then the place loses it.
Yeah.
They'll lose it.
I mean, he don't even have to do that. Like, he could do Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? He could...
No, I think...
Here's
the KO, Sami Zayn, I think if their contract is up, they're going to AEW.
I agree.
Bar none. Nowhere else.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if they're still... in a year and a half, 2 years, it might be AEW, New Japan, Impact. They might all be very much working with each other, even more than they are right now. Like, you might have...
Where does that leave Ring of Honor?
I mean, you bring Ring of Honor in, or does Ring of Honor happy enough to... Because... Will Ring of Honor fit with that group? It's tough. I feel like a lot of them would be left out in the cold. And I feel like it would be like... Remember when we said AEW wasn't doing anything for Impact, which I still don't think that they are?
Yeah.
It would be the same thing. I don't think anybody else would be... I think Ring of Honor wouldn't be getting any more exposure having to wrestle all them. I mean, if they do good numbers with New Japan...
Yeah.
Like, that's something I could see. If like, they're all able to work together, but exclusively just ROH and New Japan again. I don't think ROH needs any of that right now. I don't think that fits into what they're doing.
I just feel like Ring of Honor needs a couple, 2 to 3 names to elevate it to wanting to be on national TV.
I don't think that's not a possibility. I think that's a possibility that they probably could get a couple more names that could help. Like, I could see Bobby Fish going back to Ring of Honor. I could also see Bobby Fish showing up in AEW.
I kind of rather him in Ring of Honor.
Like, I don't know. If Gargano ever leaves, he's going to AEW. Like, it's just like what Daniel Bryan loved what he was doing in WWE. He loved his company. But he's a professional wrestler. Like, we only got a limited Daniel Bryan. We didn't get a full Bryan Danielson. Like, we're about to see matches that are going to blow our mind. Like, this is like... Because he's been handcuffed in WWE for so long that he hasn't really gotten the chance to... I mean, we got a taste of it when he wrestled Gulak in Philly. Like,
God, that match was so good.
You got a taste of it in that. Now you're about to see the full appetizer, 7 courses, and then dessert. Like, look at what Punk did on All Out. Like, we didn't know what we were going to expect, and what we saw was unbelievable.
It was great.
It was incredible. And the only reason, it was A or 1A and 1B, but that cage match was...
It was phenomenal.
That was probably match of the year.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Could have been. Although, you know what else I was thinking? This is to sidetrack us just a little bit, but still stay on topic. Mm-hmm. I don't know what my favorite pay-per-view is. Like, I was thinking...
From AEW?
From anything. Like, I don't know if I have a favorite pay-per-view.
Of all time?
Of all time. That's weird, right? Do you have a favorite pay-per-view of all time? And is it WrestleMania 25?
Is it 25? No, I'm not going to say it's 25. You know what one I like the most that I've probably found myself watching the most is WrestleMania 22.
And that one was...
That's, it's Michaels McMahon.
Okay.
It's, Cena. Oh, man, for me, my favorite WrestleMania, I think I'd remember the card.
Well, here's the thing. Like, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, if I had I have a lot of matches that I like from pay-per-views, but I don't know the other matches on the card to make it my favorite pay-per-view, which is weird. And you have to look it up right now.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm doing. But this is the reason I say 22 is because... Okay, yeah. All right, now I remember. It's because of, from start to finish, I won't find myself fast-forwarding past the match.
Okay.
For the majority of it, actually, start to finish, I can watch that, and I have watched that the most of any WrestleMania period. And even the one we went to in 35, I watched a couple times. And still, 22 is one I can watch from start to finish.
This is how I feel about what we just watched, though. Like,
yeah,
it was going at 100 miles an hour the whole show, minus one match. Minus one match. Even that, and it was quick enough that you didn't have to fast forward.
Exactly. They booked it the perfect way. It was a squash.
It was literally, you just had to sit there and just like, all right, I need to deflate.
Exactly.
Like, I need to. Like, I needed that
They
as
knew
deflation.
exactly what they had to do. They went in there and they did their job. Mm-hmm. And it was perfect. Even though most people did not really care about Big Show and
it needed to be there. You couldn't have any other match in that spot besides that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people are saying it co-main evented. No, it didn't co-main event. Punk and Darby Allin co-main evented. That was just leaving Chicago with a little bit of room to fucking breathe before they dropped another fucking bomb on them and then another bomb after that. Like, they were literally probably giving people heart attacks.
Can you imagine if they didn't have a rest?
Oh my God, they needed that. There's
no
people
way.
pissing in bottles probably. Because if you look at it, when the hell were you leaving your seat?
Probably when they took the cage down. Remember, they took, that would be the only time I could think of.
But we didn't really get any of that. Like,
no, but they just recapped the night up till that point.
But there was no rest. Like, that was like I look at it, I'm like, God damn it, I love this pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. Like, this was a great pay-per-view that I hope I will always remember in a sense, be like, oh, remember, not just like a match here and there.
I don't know, because, like, look, talk about one that was great from start to finish was All In. That was a great pay-per-view.
Yeah, but I feel like this one's matches were... It wasn't really the matches that were better, besides maybe one or two, but everything that happened made it that much more memorable.
You're right. I mean, I'm looking down the list right now, looking at WrestleMania 22. And, I mean, you have the first Money in the Bank.
Okay.
Which Rob Van Dam wins. You have JBL versus Benoit. Edge versus Foley.
Oh.
Mickie James versus Trish Stratus for the women's title.
All right.
Undertaker, Mark Henry in a casket match. Michaels, McMahon. Mysterio versus Orton and Kurt Angle for the World Heavyweight. Cena versus Triple H for the WWE.
Because didn't he win the Royal Rumble that year?
Yeah, I think so.
Or did Mysterio win the Royal Rumble?
Nah. What year was that? It was... I'm looking like I don't have the year on here. WrestleMania 22 was 2006.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't remember.
We're really good at this.
2006. Because 2005 was Benoit. Because that was the one in Philly. I feel like...
It was Cena?
Huh?
I feel like it was Cena, right? Maybe?
What, in 06?
Mm-hmm. Or maybe it was either Ray or Cena.
I don't know.
I was probably wrong. It was probably Triple H.
You were probably right the first time?
Yeah. Wait, who did I say the first time?
Triple H.
No, I said Cena first.
Okay. You're right.
You can go back and check.
No, I'm just gonna kind of give in because I don't really know. The winner of the 2006 Royal Rumble, Rey Mysterio.
All right.
Yeah.
Second guess.
Yeah. At least you were on it.
I was there.
Anyway, but yeah, no, I agree. I don't know of many pay-per-views, and look, that being the perfect example
Like,
of one of my favorite.
Do we not nerd out enough that we don't remember all these pay-per-views? Like, there's people that remember like all these pay-per-views.
You know who is really good like that?
Eggy.
And you could name a pay-per-view, and they could tell you, oh,
Eggy.
yeah, Eddie, who?
Eggy.
Oh, okay. No, another person who we talked to,
Kyle?
Kyle. You could say a match, and Kyle will know what Mania it's from, what Rumble it was. He's done it to me several times, and I don't know how he does it. Because I'll be saying something about a match, he'll go, oh, yeah, that was on WrestleMania 17. I'm like, how the fuck did you remember that? I don't remember that.
Maybe we just have shitty memories when it comes to that. I have usually good long-term memories.
So do I. That's what gets me. Especially something I'm interested in as wrestling. I feel like I should know more of that, but
But I don't.
Kyle is quick as shit. I've never seen anything like it. And you know
Wisdom.
what? You know what else? I bet you Bill's really good at that too. I bet you he could do that. Because he has a lot of that random, useless knowledge. Like wrestling
Like
knowledge.
all useless knowledge.
I wasn't going to say that, but... Like the Kenny Omega thing with Daniel Bryan and them wrestling, like random shit that, you know what I mean?
knew they wrestled.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying he knew exactly what it was when it was. There's
I
no
feel
way
like he
you could
makes
pick
that
that
up.
up. No. You gotta give Bill a little bit more credit than
I don't
that.
have to give him any credit.
Well, look, this Wednesday is already going to be an amazing...
And then you
Dynamite.
forgot, you've left out Pac versus Andrade.
Which, yeah, that's what I'm
Or
saying.
Pac.
Yeah,
I'm not calling him Pac.
You don't like calling him Pac.
I don't get it. Why is it Pac or Pac?
It is, I mean, the way they always pronounce it
Is Pac.
is Pac. But you only say it because of Tupac.
Yeah, or X-Pac.
And X-Pac.
Yeah, he's Pac.
Yes.
He's not Pac. They didn't call him X-Pac. They didn't call him Tupac. It's Pac.
I agree.
Then he's Pac.
But that's what they call him.
Well, they don't.
How they
Pac,
announce it.
P-A-C-K is
agree.
Pac.
Yes, it is.
You can't tell me you're just going to pronounce it wrong and call him that. It's not that. You have to put the K at the end.
You don't have to.
But you can't pronounce it Pac then. If you don't,
They are and do.
there's no little asterisk above the A. It's a hard A. It's ah. Ah. That's Pac.
Anyway, also, aside from Suzuki Moxley, and that's not on Dynamite, by the way.
Oh, it's Rampage.
It's Rampage.
That's still this week.
Yeah, it's still this week. But Malachi Black versus Dustin Rhodes.
Oh, yeah, he's
On
definitely
Dynamite.
kicking his head off.
And then, of course, we get to hear from Ruby as well. On
Ruby,
Dynamite.
Ruby, 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 Soho. Ruby, 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 Soho. Destination unknown. Ruby, 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 Soho.
Just getting that in your head again after
Yeah,
you
it was
finally got
stuck
it out.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So
It's a good song.
I love it. I think it's perfect. She talked about it in the
How about them
press scrum.
licensing music?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's great.
It's fun.
Yes.
There's
Again,
a reason that crowd fucking goes nuts.
There's no... and again, you want to
That
be
could
in
get
that
someone
crowd.
over. That right there.
What, just music?
Yeah, I mean,
I
look
agree.
at like Bobby Roode could have been over. If you got a catchy fucking theme song, that's like half the battle. Nakamura was crazy over, and those weren't even songs that you knew.
And that's the funny thing is, he is again.
Yeah, well,
Like
Nakamura, he never should have been out
No,
of
I
that.
know. That's all on them. That's all on them.
Like,
but
he has it.
I like him now more than I think I have ever.
Well, he's got personality.
I love him with Rick Boogs, who is insanely talented as well. I like those two together amazingly because I didn't think it was going to work.
No.
But it's really good. It's fun to watch. That's another really good part of SmackDown is
That's another one. If Nakamura's contract ever comes up, you better believe someone's trying to swipe him.
Yeah, for sure. But look, I think that's going to wrap it up. We wanted to be more AEW centric because of the
Everything that they're
amazing
doing.
event and everything that they're doing. Who knew? Who knew that?
A lot of people had a really good feeling. I just am a firm believer in I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
And I saw it, so now I believe it. And now I'm excited.
Like I said, I wanted WWE to be better. I selfishly.
Here's the thing. If WWE isn't better, at least something is good.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Or then we'd have nothing.
No. Yeah, I'm so glad that they have turned me and my decision in wanting to watch it because I didn't want to like it, and then I knew I was going to.
And there's people I'm coming around on.
Yeah.
Like Darby, I'm coming around on Darby.
I agree. Darby is
they're
growing
fucking
on
doing
me.
it to me, and I'm pissed at them for it. I don't like it. I don't hate them.
All it took was Sting and CM Punk.
Yeah, right.
That's all it took. Two of your favorite of all
Two of my
time.
favorite of all time, Jay. Bastards.
So we hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating. Help
Buy
us
some
out.
merch.
What a Maneuver. Search Brotherly Love Wrestling. Buy some merch, which we probably
Fuck it up with the rub.
should look into maybe doing a new release.
A new shirt?
Yeah.
I can think of something.
Okay. So, might be a new release coming. So keep your eye out. What a Maneuver. Brotherly Love Wrestling. Help us out. All those other things. Like, subscribe, 5-star. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed.